Innings with Pledger. Now, here's Pledge.
Welcome into Extra Innings with Pledger here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I am James Pledger. I appreciate you joining me. However you may be joining me, whether that's 94.1 on your FM dial, if you happen to be locked in listening live at sasportstar.com via our AA Best Bail Bonds audio player, or if you're watching our show live on YouTube. That's right, we stream all of our shows live on YouTube, whether it's the Morning Huddle, the Blitz, or right here on Extra Innings with Pledger. Just go to YouTube, search SA Sports Star. You can comment along with the show as it happens. Don't forget to like and subscribe, or feel free to call in the old-fashioned way, 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. I always love talking to y'all, and lots to get into. We have, as you heard in the Sports Center update, the Super Bowl is set. It will be the Patriots taking on the Rams, and I'll tell you, the game of the day yesterday was that Rams Seahawks game. The Seahawks look like one of the best teams in the NFL, period, bar none, end of statement. They're playing about as well as anybody offensively, and defensively they create pressure like nobody's business. DeMarcus Lawrence, a big reason for that. So let's take a look back at that fantastic Sunday afternoon game as the Seahawks beat the Rams 31-27 earlier this morning on the Morning Huddle. They were breaking it down with Rob and AJ as they braved the cold elements to come into work this morning.
Yeah, the game that these two teams I talked about it last week, that the separation between these two teams was 1 yard and 1 point in 2 games, and yesterday it felt kind of the same way. Like, these two teams very evenly matched. If you play this game 10 times, I think you get a winner. You know, I think they go 5-5.
I'll give the Rams some credit. I thought they were about to get run out of the gym.
Did you?
In the opening quarter, man, it looked like Seattle had the groove, and they took the punch. Matt Stafford, in defeat, earned MVP
like
status.
MVP,
Dude,
yeah.
It was all him. He's such a dart thrower. And just you ran out of time. You could go that route. But at the end of the day, I don't think anybody walked off the field not thinking that the best team didn't win. I mean, it was hard fought. And if the Rams had won the game, I'd have said the same thing.
These are the two best teams. Yeah. They are separated by decimals in my mind. I'd argue home field advantage is the difference in this game.
That's what was so impressive about the Ram reaction, because everything was going Seattle's way for 8 minutes. I mean, they did exactly what they wanted to do. That early script looked fantastic. I think that whoever is waiting on offensive coordinator from the Seahawks is more than excited already.
Oh, yes.
Whoever it is, I don't know which. They're dropping like flies, but there's 4 teams that are just eyeballing him. So, it looked really, really good. And the Rams, to their credit, my goodness, this is a bunch of old salty pros that turned it into a football game.
It was they did everything that you would have said, okay, what do the Rams have to do to win? I don't know. Get Puka Nacua the ball 9 times. They did it. 165 yards and a touchdown. Yeah. Find Devontae in the red zone.
Check.
Yep. Touchdown. 4 for 89 for him. They probably would have liked to run the ball a little bit better. Although, I shouldn't say run the ball better. Maybe run the ball a little bit more. 22 carries for 114 yards, 5.2 yards per carry. You think, okay, yeah, that'll get the job done. I think the problem was Sam Darnold had a really great game.
Boy,
and there was no answer for Jackson Smith and
JSM, which, remember those initials. My God, what a spectacular playoff game.
Yeah, a real problem to deal with. But quite frankly, they shut down the rest of that Seattle offense. There was a big play to Shaheed early in the show, or early in the game, and they took him out of it after that.
A brilliant call.
Oh, it was, and a perfect throw. But then, but it was basically Sam Darnold doing kind of yeoman's work, and
that oblique, man. Think about what he would be if he was fully healthy.
Well, in 2 weeks he should be healed up. And he said before the game, he's like, I'm feeling so much better than I did last week, and he looked a lot better than he did a week. Like, he didn't have to do anything last week.
So that's why
this week it was.
We knew the moment
You had to work.
It was that first quarter drive. It might not have been the first one, probably the second one, where he was rolling left and he really had to torque it to get it downfield. At that moment, man, this guy's fine. There's not a problem at all. He's dialed in and healthy.
Yeah. There was one play that I found very interesting that didn't get talked about very much because it probably didn't matter to a lot of people. But I would imagine Sean McDermott and Josh Allen sat and watched the play at the end of the first half where Matt Stafford takes off running. By the way,
it worked.
Matt Stafford, who never, ever, ever, ever runs, ever. Now, we're not talking about Josh Allen, who runs all the time and you trust with the ball in his hand. Matt Stafford took off like for the last play at the end of the half. And I'm not really sure. I don't know what was going to happen. He was never going to, break off for a touchdown. He took off, he got a few yards, and he was down, and that was the end of the half. But imagine if Matt Stafford had fumbled there, how disastrous that could have been. And everybody, like Sean McDermott's like, see, they did it too. It's just, but yeah, I thought that was interesting. Generally, I didn't think that, one guy got outcoached necessarily. I will say there was a moment where Sean McVay pulled his challenge flag, looked like he was ready to throw it on that Cooper Kupp completion. And I'm not sure what the ref said to him to make him not throw it, but
I think he was worried about losing that timeout. I think it was a pretty important thing. If he lost it right then, he was going to probably need it in a minute if he didn't win the challenge. So I think the ref reminded him, like, keep in mind, if this is wrong, you need irrefutable. And I think they might have been able to find it if we really would have delved into that. And especially if New York is comparing previous film, then we might have a reception. But I think he was so worried about losing that timeout, he just didn't want to take the risk. And I don't know. It sucks. That sucks because the ramifications of something stupid, we feel it the next week.
Yeah. And there's always going to be like, oh, well, what if? And I'm sure Rams fans are feeling that what if right now. But again, just a fantastic game. Couldn't have been better in my mind. And thank goodness, because I don't expect we're going to get a super competitive Super Bowl. Even though there's a lot of people who have more optimism than I do about the Patriots. The Seahawks 4.5 point favorites against the Patriots is going to be the opening line. Minus 230 is the money line. Totals 45.5.
If you get bigger than that.
I'm a believer in this Seahawks team, and I just think that the Patriots are they don't have quite enough bullets to get the job done. But you know what? It's the Super Bowl, and bigger upsets have happened in the Super Bowl plenty of times. So it wouldn't shock me if the Patriots won, but I just think this Seahawks team is very, very legitimate, and beating the Rams the way they did last night sort of solidified them to me as the best team in the NFL. And we don't always get the two best teams in the NFL playing in the Super Bowl. It's just not the way it works, hardly ever. But I feel good knowing we at least got one of them.
Well, I mean, there's also the hottest team in the league, 9 straight roadies. I mean, there's enough plot lines to keep you interested. I think that the New England story is going to be told in a lot of different ways over the next week. And it won't be like they're an upstart.
It's because they're the Patriots.
There's 12th time, and there's that kind of stuff to it. But I don't think they're going to be treated like the upstart, like most of us believe they are. I think that they're going to highlight the accentuate the positive of the
of course
MVP backup and the 9 straight and the defense and the steady improvement and all that kind of stuff. But they didn't outplay what I think they are. And, I asked you earlier, is that defense, do you think it's going to translate against an offense like what we saw last night? And I don't see how it'll happen. I don't think it'll be quite as easy, but now we're going to see what this second-year quarterback really is. I still believe at some point these kind of runs run out.
Yeah.
And the longer you wait, the harder it hurts.
And we talked about it last week, but it still is fascinating to me that of that draft class that had Baker Mayfield, Josh Allen, and Lamar Jackson, Sam Darnold is the first to reach a Super Bowl. If you had told me that 3-4 years ago, I would have laughed you out of the building. I mean, can you imagine 3-4 years ago saying Sam Darnold will be in a Super Bowl before Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, or Baker Mayfield?
I know. Well, no, that's nuts. Big head. I never thought would get there. I remember when he was sitting on the 49ers bench, and Shanahan was trying to figure out whether it was going to be Purdy, because I think he'd had his first year. Purdy had his rookie year and played well. And we weren't sure Purdy was going to do that. And the 49ers were kind of looking around. And there was a quarterback coach for the 49ers goes, I don't know what you're talking about. I'll tell you, for the first couple of weeks of camp, the best quarterback I got here is Sam Darnold. And Darnold ended up going to Minnesota and, finding his way there. But I'll never forget that the coach saying that. I thought, you've got to be kidding me. I mean, that's obviously some sort of promotion to get somebody signed or somebody to kind of kick the negotiations into gear if you're saying that Darnold's the best guy. But I'll never forget hearing that and then seeing him land in Minnesota and them saying, who the best quarterback in the building is? It's Sam Darnold. And it translated. All I can think of after that happened twice and now 3 times is how bad it must be in New York.
Yeah.
How utterly just horrible it must have been in that locker room and in that environment for Donald. All he needed to do was to escape, and it was a steady escalator up from there.
And you think about it, when you look at Sam Darnold, he replaced former Jet quarterback Geno Smith as well. So multiple former Jet quarterbacks taking the title in Seattle. But it just goes to show you how much coaching means in the NFL. He spends some time with McDaniel and Shanahan in San Francisco after years in both the Jets and Panthers organization, gets a fresh start, coached up by McDaniel and Shanahan, then goes off to Minnesota, where he gets to get coached up by Kevin O'Connell and Grant Udinski, who is a name that is red hot when it comes to the coaching searches and his offensive prowess. And now he is in Seattle, where he is under the tutelage of one Clint Kubiak, son of Gary Kubiak, who also spent time in San Francisco with that tree. So coaching matters, scheme matters, and finding the right for your guy is of the utmost importance. Some can break the mold and can work with anything. Good quarterbacks, bad quarterback coaches, good offensive coordinators, bad offensive coordinators. They can turn chicken salad or chicken bleep into chicken salad, right? But that's a small, rare, finite percentage. And scheme matters for a lot. Do you think Lamar Jackson's the quarterback he is today, if not for Greg Roman and then Todd Monken tailoring their offense to help suit his strengths as a quarterback? Or if somebody tried to make him run Tom Brady's offense, you think Lamar Jackson is who he is today? No, I don't think so. And so it matters, and it matters for every quarterbacks, and especially young quarterbacks, which is why you have to have a structure in place offensively for a young quarterback. Veterans can overcome that because they've been in the systems. They know what works, they know what doesn't, and they can be a voice in the room. But rookies, young quarterbacks, they don't know what they don't know. And they're trying to please their offensive coordinator, their fan base, their coaching staff, and sometimes they're just being set up to fail. And I think in a lot of instances, the Jets are that organization that is going to set you up to fail. But it matters. Coaching matters a great deal, especially at that position when you're talking about one of the most important positions in sports. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. I am James Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. When we come back, we're going to take a look at the San Antonio Spurs. They drop another one last night, falling until they tied the game in the fourth quarter on that 14-0 run. I thought they stayed home because of the freeze. But they showed up only to not show up. Is this team soft? the blitz debated. We'll talk about it next, right here on Extra Innings with Pledger on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Tuesday on the Morning Huddle, it's officially basketball season. We'll check in on the NBA and a huge slate in college hoops.
College hoops is huge, but the Spurs headed toward a rough week. Got the Rockets on the Hornets. We'll get ready for that. All of your Super Bowl talk. And now there's also other stuff going on. We'll keep you informed. Get here early. Party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Morning 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hi there, I'm John O'Hurley. You know, our pets are beloved family members. But sadly, though, there are so many dogs that get euthanized every day due to the lack of funding. To give them a chance at adoption, I invite you to support Puppy Food Bank. Thanks to generous donors like you, all of the food sent to pet shelters from Puppy Food Bank never comes with a bill. So please go to puppyfoodbank.org and make a generous, caring $15 donation every month. Your donation will absolutely save pet lives.
Oh, yes, playoff football is here, baby, and Underdog is the best place to get in on all that action. Playing on Underdog is so easy. You pick your favorite players. Are they going to go higher or lower on their stats? Sounds simple, right? Touchdowns, rushing yards, receptions, passing yards, you name it. Is your favorite guy going to have more or less of those stats? And if you get it right, you could win up to 5,000 times your cash. How incredible is that? You know, everybody's playing at their peak right now during playoff season. Who do we trust? How about the guys who have been in the playoffs before? That's who I'm looking at consistently, guys with that experience to go higher on their stats. Download the app today. Use my promo code Alamo. You get $75 in bonus entries with your first $5. That's promo code Alamo. Underdog. Make picks, win money. Must be 18 plus and present in Texas. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
Injuries happen, and when they do, skip the ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Quarry area with extended hours Monday through Saturday with on-site x-ray casting and bracing, Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at tsaog.com.
Find what you love and love what you find at Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you.
With the lowest prices for over 30 years, find what you love only at Total Wine and More. Drink responsibly, B21.
Joe Fallon did something smart. He saved hundreds on auto insurance switching to Progressive. With that money, he commissioned a portrait of himself. Does Joe already know what he looks like? Yes. Do guests know what he looks like? Also yes. But not as art. It's Joe's savings, and if he wants to spend it on a velvet painting of himself with a white tiger at his feet, we say, roar, Joe, roar. Switch and see if you could save with Progressive and treat yourself. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
This President's Day, Pure Talk is honoring Jackson and Lincoln by offering unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data for just $25 a month. Meanwhile, Big Wireless is honoring Benjamin Franklin by charging families hundreds of dollars for the same 5G service. What's up with that? Ben Franklin wasn't even a president. When you switch to Pure Talk, you'll be in business with an American wireless company that supports our vets in a big way and keeps all their customer service in this country. That's important. And you'll be on the same towers the big carriers use, so you'll get the same 5G service without the inflated price. So hang on to your Benjamins and switch to Pure Talk for a Jackson and a Lincoln. No contract, no hidden fees. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and you'll get 50% off your first month when you switch. That's pound 250, Mike Rowe, for an American wireless company that is truly unprecedented. Pure Talk.
The new era of UFC on Paramount Plus continues with UFC 325 live from Australia. Catch featherweight champion Alexander Volkanovski in a rematch of his epic title fight against Diego Lopez, and the always dangerous Dan Hooker throws down with dynamic finisher Benoit Saint Denis in a high-action lightweight showdown. UFC fans, pay-per-view just got knocked out. Catch UFC 325 on Saturday, January 31st, only on Paramount Plus. Stream every fight live with one subscription. Visit ParamountPlus.com/UFC to get started.
My name is Whitney Allen. I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ETHOS.com/game.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I am James Pleasure. Appreciate y'all for riding with me today. Of course, you can watch the show on YouTube at SA Sports Star. You can follow the station on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff at SA Sports Star. You can follow me at I Am Pleasure. Always appreciate y'all for rolling around, riding around with me as we get through what's left of the big freeze. Apparently it's all starting to go away. Still a little remnants. Gonna get cold again tonight, so whatever's out there might refreeze. But it looks like the Spurs thought it was frozen over and we're gonna have their game at the Frost Bank Center yesterday evening postponed. Instead, they played, well, if you call that playing, against the Pelicans that night, and it didn't look good from the jump. They fall behind early. There was one small speck of life where they go on a 14-0 run in the fourth quarter to kind of even things up. But even then, it was too little, too late, as they would end up eventually falling to the New Orleans Pelicans, 104-95. Wemby leading the way with just 16 points in the loss. And now it seems to be the same thing over and over again. When the Spurs get beat, not only are they playing down to their competition, they're getting banged around. So the Blitz earlier today, Jason and Joe asked one simple question. Is this team soft?
Spurs might as well have been playing on ice yesterday because their shooting was ice cold.
I see what you did there.
It was
very
bad,
good. Yeah.
But I'm flying back from Vegas last night. Checked the score and was like, what the puck is going on with this basketball team? I couldn't. And then they go on a long run at the beginning of the fourth, and now it's a game. Thought, all right, they're going to wake up, play one quarter of basketball, and get a win against a bad basketball team. And they didn't. They didn't. And I think really you get an admission from Mitch Johnson. It's something that we've all known. It's something that we've talked about.
Yep.
They're soft. And Mitch Johnson admits that last night.
We've gotten a lot of feedback recently from how teams have played us, and that is definitely going to be, it feels like an approach from other teams. And then some teams, New Orleans has been doing that as of late recently, just as their style of play and their brand of basketball, and it served them well. And so it's going to be something that we're going to have to step up in.
Yeah. There's a lot of feedback they've been getting.
Yeah,
from,
how do they get that feedback?
I am not sure.
Like after the game, does Mitch send a survey to the opposing coaching staff? Are you soft? 1 to 10, 12.
Do you think we're soft? Right? Is that how you prepared for us? We're soft. I don't know.
Hey, can I borrow your scouting report? So this is what you guys really think of us, huh?
Wow.
Clearly, the soft word, which I hate using talking about pro athletes, but it is what it is, has made its way to the Spurs locker room. Devin Vassell says, we don't want to be known as a soft basketball team.
Especially when it comes to the physicality. Just not letting it feel like you're getting punked. And I feel like that's kind of how the teams come in. They're like, we come in, we could be more physical than them. And that's just not what you want. You don't want to be a team that's looked at as being soft. So I think that's just the biggest thing is coming in knowing that that's how teams are. They're not going to out-talent us. They're not going to do this. They're not going to do that. It's just we got to sit there and be more physical. And that's just the key to it, truthfully.
I think he's right. He's absolutely right. And the one thing that Devin Vassell has been able to do is sit on the bench for a while and watch this team play. And I think he knows. And that's how teams are playing the Spurs now. Some are successful at it, some are not. But and there's nothing wrong with this necessarily. But the Spurs are a finesse team. That's what they do. They want to out-athlete you. They want to outshoot you from the three-point line. And that's what they do. But they're not a bang it inside type of club. They're just not. And I think teams are seeing that. I mean, look, coaches around the NBA are not stupid. You see that, hey, this is how we beat that team. They're a very talented team, but if we go in there and bully them, we can win.
Well, and again, I think part of that, down low and the physical play there, but even Devin Vassell said, some of it's just hustle play and just fighting for a rebound.
It's just a mental thing. We just got to go in knowing that's how teams are going to approach it. We knew that's how New Orleans was going to play this game. And if, they were going to win this game, it was going to be because they were crashing the glass and being more physical. That's exactly what they did. So just going forward, we just got to have that mindset. We can't be kind of a finesse team or somebody who's just going to let somebody just get pushed around and stuff like that. I mean, I'm not saying have a hard foul and hurt nobody, but at the end of the day, we got to show that, we're here. So just eliminating all these offensive rebounds. And I had a couple to where I just got to hit somebody and make sure that they don't get that. As long as I don't get the rebound, they don't get the rebound. Somebody else will. So coming back, it was good. Obviously, I wish it would have went a different way, but that's the NBA. And that's how, we're about to play Houston. Houston's another team that plays just as physical as them, maybe even more. So we got to be ready for that.
Got to be ready for that. And he's right. Although they played Houston well the other night in Houston. Problem is they let them get back in that game and actually win it because Houston got a little more physical with them.
And again, apparently the feedback says that, the post-game survey. It's almost, Mitch, like he found the scouting report that the other team left in the locker room or something. But it is an admission. The trade deadline is right around the corner. Do you think the Spurs now at this point make a move to try to bring somebody in that can add a little bit of toughness? Because right now, this team with their physical play, knowing how physicality gets ramped up in the postseason, screams a second round out. Get pushed around and bounced. And do you wait for the offseason to try to make a move to fix that glaring missing person on the roster? Because I still think they need a sharp shooting three, a good 3-and-D guy. But I'm almost wondering now, maybe they do need to bring in somebody that can provide a little bit more physicality and offer other things on the court as well. I mean, because they've got a Jeremy Sohan that could be the physical guy. He just doesn't fit in anything else that they do, so he's not getting minutes anymore. But do the Spurs make a move before the deadline to try to compete this year, or is that a next year problem because they seemingly are already ahead of schedule for a group that doesn't skip steps?
Well, it'll be interesting to see what happens the rest of the season and if they can adjust to the way teams now are going to play them, because they're going to. Not every team is going to be capable of doing that. There are only certain teams that are going to be capable of pushing them around and bullying them. But it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out the rest of the season now that the rest of the league knows their secret. Look, I just look at guys like Robert Horry comes to mind. You got both. A guy that's not afraid to bang, but he can shoot the three. Now, I don't know if Robert Horry's out there somewhere. Maybe he is, maybe he's not. But I'm saying that's the style of player. I always look at a Steven Adams. I would have loved to have seen a Steven Adams come to San Antonio somehow, some way. That would have been a great protector for Victor Wembanyama, a great protector, and a guy that's going to bang and not let you, just waltz your way into the paint and do whatever you want to do. So it's going to be interesting to see, Jason, especially from here on out, how the Spurs team adjusts to what teams are doing to them. Because look, they shoot threes all they want to, and I want a comment on our San Antonio Sports Star YouTube page, and they just need to shoot better. Well, that's easy to say.
Yeah.
You're taking 53s a night. Chances of you shooting and making 25 of them are pretty slim and none.
When you look at, to your point there, live by the three, die by the three. I don't know if this is a good enough three-point shooting team to have that philosophy. They don't have Steph Curry. And I see some comments about, an Antoine Carr type of play. Earlier I mentioned, we need somebody on this Spurs roster that was similar to what Tim had with a Thiago Splitter or a Fabricio Roberto. And that's great. Who in the NBA right now, all you listeners that are smarter GMs than Brian Wright, who is the one guy that you would say, this guy, if the Spurs could go land him, would be a difference maker for this year's Spurs team? Could give me names from the 90s or the early 2000s. Who do you think, one, is tradable, that the Spurs would go after? Either put them in the comments there on YouTube or 210-656-ESPN. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, I'd like to talk about it, and I'd have to research, and that's something I would like to do as the trade deadline approaches, by the way. Would they be? Now, reports have surfaced, rumors have surfaced again about Giannis. And I just, again, Giannis is a great player, but I just don't think that would be I say not a fit here. Of course he would be. He's a great player, but I don't know that I want Giannis.
Look, some people would love it. Some people are indifferent towards it. Some people are against it. I am indifferent dependent on cost. Chris Ozarako says Naz Reid would be great if there takes two to tango. And if somebody doesn't want to relinquish a piece, you probably have to overpay for that piece. So it all comes down to, in the end, price and what you can get on the other side of that. And for the Spurs, there are pieces I would like. I just don't know if they're up for sale. Trey Murphy and Herb Jones are pieces I have mentioned before on this program. Look, the Pelicans aren't going anywhere. I believe they can be had. I also believe they will be slightly expensive, more so because they just don't want to move on from them. I've long been a proponent of Lauri Markkanen. That will be far more expensive. Franz Wagner's brought up on our YouTube page, as is Pascal Siakam. Now, Pascal Siakam, with the way that things are going right now, are more likely than I think previous iterations. Also, a Benedict Mathurin, who is a name that the Spurs have kicked the tires on before this past off season. So those are names that here's another name that I wouldn't mind. He brings the toughness that everybody's talking about. He brings an edge to the way he plays, and he's a three-point shooter. And a lot of people don't like him because he went to Duke. Grayson Allen. Grayson Allen shoots almost 37% from three. He has shot upwards of 43% throughout his career. And he is a guy who really, really aggravates people that he plays against. He plays on that edge. Fred Robert Casares asks, how about Zion Williams or Anthony Davis? Yeah, you're giving up everything for him. Those aren't cheap. And Anthony Davis, look, Zion Williams has managed to stay healthy this year. Congrats to him. Hopefully that diet is working for him. Anthony Davis, I don't know what to say. Can you tell me the last time Anthony Davis played 62 games in an NBA season? I don't think I don't think the juice is worth the squeeze when it comes to Anthony Davis. Zion Williams, I could have a conversation with, but I know that is not going to be cheap. The Pelicans aren't just going to give him away. So anybody thinking it's getting done for Sohan and a first round pick, it's not happening. I like to deal in the worlds of realities and what people are actually worth. Now, if you call and lowball them and they accept, that's a completely different story. Dylan the villain. Baddies is saying Dylan Brooks should definitely be one of the names the Spurs should look after. And you're not wrong, because look at it this way. He's a guy, shoots a high clip from three, and just brings an edge on defense. He did it in Houston, and he did it in Memphis. He's doing it in Phoenix. Phoenix is one of those teams that has bullied San Antonio around this year. Who are some of the names that you want to see? 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. The Morning Huddle was batting around trade ideas earlier this morning. We'll discuss that and your suggestions of who they should be attempting to lure away from their current team. That's all coming up here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's 94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars $50K Big Game Giveaway. Predict the exact score of the big game in Santa Clara, California, and you could score $50,000. Make your predictions now at sasportstar.com. The $50K Big Game Giveaway, brought to you by Dietz Tractor. Score big with Dietz Tractor in Seguin and 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
What's wrong, Cupid? Lost my mojo. These arrows just don't work like they used to. The facts are people falling in love thanks to Connecticut, not poor old Cupid.
You don't say.
Oh, absolutely. Look over there. She's got silky smooth hair thanks to a Connecticut water softener. He's got softer skin and cleaner clothes, and now they're all lovey-dovey. Makes me sick.
Don't feel bad, Cupid. You still have your bow and arrow.
I know a Connecticut runs on kinetic energy like my bow and arrow. There's no computer to break. A Connecticut has it all.
For a limited time, receive a free reverse osmosis drinking station at your kitchen sink. $400 off with trade-in and 0% interest for 12 months with approved credit. Call Connecticut of San Antonio and the Hill Country.
You know, you're right. I love my Connecticut, too. My diaper has never looked so white. And my wings, oh, I look good.
Cupid, you can always come to work for me, but you're going to have to wear pants.
ConnecticutSA.com.
License number 38961.
Did you hear? Allstate car insurance now costs even less. So when you bundle with home, you can save even more. Check Allstate first to bundle and save with a new lower auto rate. You're in good hands with Allstate. Not available in every state. Only applicable for new auto insurance business. Rates will vary by several factors, including how you purchase the policy. Potential savings may vary. Allstate North American Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Straight Talk presents The Math of More. Here's how it works. When you say yes to more with Straight Talk, you're left with more for all the other good stuff. So getting an unlimited plan starting at just $25 a month equals more savings for your family's weekend adventures. And with a network covered by Verizon, you can share more from wherever you go. It's simple math, really. More equals more with Straight Talk. Available at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Taxes and fees apply. The $25 plan requires a compatible unlocked device and a new line of service. Additional terms apply.
Start the year in dry at North Park Chevrolet in Castroville. All Silverado 1500s get 1.9% financing plus an additional $1,250 trade-in rebate. Or buy a new Colorado for only $28,999. And the affordable Trax is only $346 a month with zero down. Plus, all heavy duties have 5.9% financing for 84 months. Together, let's drive. North Park Chevrolet, 10 minutes by Loop 410 in Castroville.
Must qualify. Call 830-355-2107 for full price and offer details.
Quiet down. Here she comes. Surprise! Your accountant just emailed to say your quarterly taxes are way higher than you were expecting.
At Progressive, we know small business owners don't usually like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money? Getting discounts with a commercial auto quote from Progressive.
Also, your favorite employee is leaving. They're going to pursue their dream of being a veterinarian.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
Find what you love, love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Guides in the know and prices so low, it just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
With curbside pickup and delivery available, you'll always find what you love, only at Total Wine & More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
This new year, get started on your next success with University of Maryland Global Campus. Apply now and save with no application fee. Classes start February 11th. An accredited state university, UMGC offers online and hybrid classes while giving you a head start on 2026. Earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's for prior learning and experience, or transfer up to 12 credits toward a master's. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Howdy, San Antonio. This is Andrew Monaco, and you're locked on the home of the Aggies, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Appreciate y'all rolling along with me tonight. Hope you're staying safe out on the roads. I was asked in the chat on YouTube when the trade deadline off says it's not far off. That's right. It's not far off. February 5th, 2 o'clock. So a little over a week away from the NBA trade deadline, which will fall during the middle of Super Bowl week. So not often the NBA gets steal headlines the way that the NFL does all the time, but they are on it with this one. And with it also have multiple inclusions in All-Star Weekend. We heard about Wemby being an All-Star starter. We also know now that Stephon Castle and Dylan Harper both selected to the Rising Stars All-Star game at NBA All-Star Weekend. The Spurs are now the only team in the NBA to have multiple rising stars selected for All-Star Weekend in each of the last 3 seasons. Oh, by the way, the Chupacabra, David Jones-Garcia, also selected to play in the Rising Stars game as part of the G League team. So 3 Spurs, technically, if you really think about it. Now, as far as the Spurs, do they need to make a move to make this roster better at the trade deadline? A lot of Spurs fans say yes. I've seen Clint Capella mention Nikola Vucevic by Joshua Jimenez. I've seen names like Obi Toppin mentioned by Manuel Vasquez. I've seen Michael Porter Jr. by John C. And all of these great names. I'm not sure Michael Porter Jr. really fits in with what the Spurs are doing. Maybe he will. He did serve kind of that role for the Denver Nuggets when they won a championship. So that is a possibility. I saw Cam Thomas's name earlier in the chat. Lots of names that are out there that are available that are worth kicking the tires on, especially dependent on cost. But what are some of the names that AJ and Rob have bandied about? Well, this morning they talked about potential trade scenarios and ideas for the San Antonio Spurs.
I said we're going to talk about the Spurs and the still, I think, lowered possibility that they could go after someone like Giannis.
Yeah, I will never say never.
It's certainly still tempting because of how quickly it could get them where
last night.
Yeah. And we talk about like they need someone who isn't going to get bullied and
just give it to him.
Zion's not going to put his shoulder in Giannis's chest and punk him out. That ain't going to happen. But it says difficulty to get a deal done. They listed it as 6 out of 10. And it says the Spurs reached contender status earlier than expected. A Giannis trade would create a fascinating front court duo, but likely at the cost of a young backcourt star.
At least, yeah.
Are the Spurs willing to break up their young roster before they can even evaluate Wemby's first postseason? If they are, Spurs have Steph Castle and Dylan Harper as the centerpieces of a trade. And despite trading 4 first-round picks for De'Aaron Fox, San Antonio still has 4 pick swaps and an unprotected 2027 first-rounder from the Hawks. They are $10 million below the first apron.
They got money. They got room. We got money.
And it lists all their contracts, the upcoming free agents, like the expiring contracts.
Like Olynyk's got an expiring deal, a $13 million expiring. So that's the kind of thing I think would be moved. I've seen some talk about Sohan, maybe with
$7 million. Harrison Barnes, $19 million. That might be appealing to someone.
I think those are the moves I think are going to happen.
And as much as I love Harrison, if Harrison was included in a deal that brought in Giannis, I don't think you could be mad about it. He would simply take over that role defensively. But Olynyk, Champagnie, Biyombo, McLaughlin, and Lindy Waters all expiring contracts. Wemby obviously not even in a discussion, but Castle, Harper, and Carter Bryant are their rookie scale deals. And then you've got Vassell, Keldon, and Luke Cornett. Vassell at $27 million, Keldon $17.5, and Luke Cornett at $11. I certainly don't think they've got any interest in trading Luke Cornett. He's signed through 2029.
No, he's a Spur.
And 2020 through 2029 with, quite frankly, great value at $11 million.
Yeah, what do you get that makes you better if you exit him?
Yeah.
There's just nothing. He is, and I don't think anybody wants him to be gone.
No, I don't either.
He's at least for the foreseeable. Yes.
Devin having a $27 million price tag on him would be. I mean, it would help offset money. Certainly, and I think people look at him as a valuable piece.
Oh yeah, everybody's asking about it.
And he's signed through 2029. Keldon, $17.5 million, signed through 2027. I would assume the Spurs are probably pretty hesitant to move on from him.
Oh,
given
it's a bargain. They're going to give him a raise.
Yeah, given what he's doing right now, it'd be hard to include him in anything. But again, at the end of the day, as long as you're not talking about moving Victor Wembanyama, everything should be on the table if you're actually talking about bringing in Giannis.
I'd seen some talk about Sohan and Novoselic from the Knicks, maybe something there just because of the French connection, which I think will be the next consistent talk when the Spurs are in any kind of market. Does he want to play or can he speak French to play with Wembanyama? And Novoselic has that. I think there's that. I've seen Gary Trent Jr.'s named a couple of times out there, and I think there's some other potential dudes to fill a gap or two. I think over the last week or so, as we've talked about their inability to fight through physicality, I think that the emphasis on a bigger raw bone, whether it be a big small forward or a small big forward, somebody that's willing to get in the paint and throw some elbows and protect some of the lither guys, I think that would probably be a more likely move than a blockbuster. But as long as Giannis is hanging out there, man, you still got to – what they give it, 6 to 10? 6 and 10?
6 out of 10 difficulty.
Yeah, and that's probably about right. I don't expect it to happen, but, when you have a chance like this, you're crazy. It's malpractice if you don't pursue every possible angle just to see if you can get the perfect deal.
It lists the 10 teams with the most to offer. It's got the Hawks, and it says deal difficulty 7 out of 10. The Pistons, deal difficulty 2 out of 10.
See, that's one that I put lower than ours as far as need to move.
Yeah, they've got a bunch of good young players on the cheap. And I would imagine that basically anybody but Cade Cunningham could be available.
Yeah, I think that they're
Jalen Duren is an expiring contract. That's a valuable piece.
They're very much on the list of teams that could or couldn't, but if they did, wow.
Rockets, and I mean, yeah, if they did, if the Pistons got him, the Pistons are suddenly big favorites to win the East, and
for the same reason the Rockets aren't going to do it. The Rockets are not a player in this.
Rockets 7 out of 10. They are just below the cap to begin with. They have restricted contracts with Van Vliet and Jabari Smith that would be hard to move.
They made their team when they went and got Durant.
Yeah, that's KD that's the deal. Miami 7 out of 10 as well.
They don't got enough.
I don't know
unless
that they
you like
do.
Tyler Hero a lot.
Yeah. They've got Andrew Wiggins' expiring contract, which would be good. Terry Rozier's expiring contract.
Can he play?
Do you want to trade Bam? And if
I would,
if you do, is it where are you at? Are you way different than you are now? I don't know. Minnesota says 8 out of 10 difficulty. And it says they've got the players who could accelerate a rebuild in Milwaukee with Julius Randle, Naz Reid, and Jaden McDaniels. They have no first-round picks to send in a deal. So that would pretty much that pretty much knocks that out. The Bucks want to get
and I
back.
think that when you hear the way Giannis talks, his agents told him, look, man, this is going to be hard. I mean, the best case, it's going to be hard. And now, considering I don't think the value is even close to where we thought it would have been this time last year, or certainly over the summer, he was worth a lot more, it felt like. I just don't think Milwaukee's going to come close to what they thought they were going to be able to pull for him.
Yeah. The Knicks lists as an 8 out of 10 difficulty. New York's one tradable pick likely won't convey, so it would cost them
too bad
star player.
Because I think they would have done everything possible to get him if they'd have done their due diligence and prepared for this moment. I think they would have been one to pull the trigger.
Oklahoma City, it says a 7 out of 10. They've got so many draft picks. But they'd have to decide, do they want to break up their core roster that's already proven good enough to win a title and to be the favorite for a title now? They wouldn't
mutiny.
They wouldn't be able to trade Shea, Jalen, or Chet. Those are all they've got poison pills locked in. But
it would take everybody else.
Yeah, and a lot of that draft capital. Portland, it says 4 out of 10.
Now this one I like. Portland should be in the play for this, and it's ironic that he might go back with his dude. But
and they've got the Bucks 2029 pick that they could give back.
That's what I was going to say. There's already a link there with a draft pick, and this one is worth paying attention to because they do have some talent that if I was Milwaukee, I might want to talk about.
And then Toronto. It says outside of Detroit, no East playoff team can beat a potential Giannis trade package from the Raptors. The difficulty of the trade increases if Milwaukee asks for Scotty Barnes. Besides the ability to trade 4 first-round picks and swaps in each season, Toronto has Barnes, Brandon Ingram, R.J. Barrett, Jakob Poeltl, Emmanuel Quickley, and young players on controllable deals like Grady Dick and Jacoby Walker. So
Giannis could kill a deal, though. Does he have can he
I don't think so. I don't think so.
I think Toronto would be crazy if they didn't offer up exactly what you said.
And that's where we are with Giannis. And should the Spurs make a deal for Giannis? I don't think so, just because of price and the amount of people in the league that would be in on a Giannis deal, which would drive up said price. But going and getting, like I said earlier, Grayson Allen, Luke Kennard's a name that comes to mind. 3-point sniping specialist. Yershon Yabusele out of New York. They made a run for him in free agency. They didn't land him. Is he possible to get now? Jakob Poeltl, that's a name you just heard. I think I made a lot of fun of Jack Thompson about him, the former Fighting Texas A&M Aggie, but Max Money Middleton, he's started to find his stroke a little bit. Maybe he's recovered from all those injuries to his ankles, and there is a potential there. Also, Jeremy Grant is another name that I consider if I'm the Spurs. We'll come back and put a bow on the show and take some of your suggestions as we come back right here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
Uncover the root of your problems and improve the quality of your life. I'm Dr. Torres from the Institute for Functional Health. For more than a decade, we have helped people restore energy, vitality, libido, and drive. Most patients come to us because they feel unheard or stuck. Schedule your discovery day. We'll talk about your history, run advanced testing, and build a personalized plan that fits your life. We have helped thousands of people just like you. Call 210-468-1891. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health. 210-468-1891.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you can choose the best coverage option for you. Because you know you. Like, you can't cook. You're not one of those people who say that they can, but when people come over for dinner, they find out the hard way, you can't. You can't even microwave popcorn, and that's literally just one button. Plus, measuring and patience are huge parts of cooking, and that's just not you. Only you know you. So get coverage options within your budget with Progressive's Name Your Price tool. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Need parts fast? Need them now? O'Reilly is fast. Just one part that makes O'Reilly Auto Parts stand apart. Get one free set of brake pads when you buy 2 Brake Best Select rotors. Upgrade to Brake Best Select pads for just $10 more. Or upgrade to Brake Best Select Pro or Import Direct pads for just $20 more. Restrictions apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Are you 50 or older? This news is for you. The CDC recommends you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at risk. People 50 or older are over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults 18 to 49. Just one shot can help protect you. Learn more and schedule at vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
You still thinking job change in the new year? Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy. IT? Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI. That's what I did. Really? How? Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up. Sweet. Are classes online or on campus? Both. Wow, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu, an elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Welcome to guided meditation. Close your eyes. You're at the beach. The seagulls are calling. You take out your iPhone 16e you got from Cricket and use Apple Intelligence to clean up that selfie you just took. It's a good one. You send it to your friends instantly thanks to reliable nationwide 5G. They're totally jealous. Get iPhone 16e for $49.99 when you switch. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Requires new line on the Supreme Unlimited plan. First service charge and tax due at sale. $25 activation fee. Terms and restrictions apply. Cricket 5G is not available everywhere. See store for details.
What if your instincts could pay off? With Robinhood Prediction Markets, you could put your knowledge to work on the events that matter to you. Prediction Markets isn't just sports. It's the Fed rate decision, your favorite award show, and so much more beyond the playing field. Trade events with Robinhood. Visit Robinhood.com/predict. That's Robinhood.com/predict. Futures and cleared swaps trading involves significant risk and is not appropriate for everyone. Event contracts are offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, a registered futures commission merchant and swap firm.
Let's drop! Yeah!
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Jesus Vasquez says, guided meditation with pleasure. I'll take it. If that helps get you into a Zen state, then I'm here for it. And hopefully we all just need to take a step back, take a deep breath, and realize the Spurs are overperforming expectations as it is anyway. Yes, we won a championship. Yes, we'd like it this year. They have taken a much further leap forward than any of us expected. I won't say any. Some probably had some championship aspirations deep in the back of their head. But for the most part, anybody with realistic expectations, they expected them to make a jump, probably into the play-in tournament, maybe into the top 6, maybe 4, but second in the West, only behind the defending champion Oklahoma City Thunder, currently the way where they sit. That's incredible. And it does at least give you pause in terms of, hey, maybe we should let them ride this thing out. Maybe these young guys will develop because they have been developing. But we are impatient as a society and as fan bases. It has been a long 7 years. But guess what? It was for the Patriots too. And now they're back in it because they took a huge step and they trusted their young guys, added some guys in free agency. Should the Spurs follow the same mold? 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. Look, I'm glad everybody's safe. We survived the ice apocalypse over the weekend. We're back at it. Hope everyone's safe tonight because it is going to get cold. Therefore, freezing temps still remain. Therefore, ice still a potential possibility out on the roads. So call your loved ones, check on them. You never know what people are going through in life, and a simple "Hey, how are you doing?" could change everything. This has been Extra Innings with Pleasure here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. We will see you tomorrow.